everybody! Welcome to our last week of spring story time. Today we're going to talk all about birds. But first, let's get our welcome song out of the way. Are you ready? Here are my peekaboo hands. On the count of 3 we'll sing. 1, 2, 3. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you, I see you. I see your button nose, I see your tiny toes. Peekaboo, I see you. That was great. Can we try it once more all together? On the count of 3 we'll sing. 1, 2, 3. Peekaboo, peekaboo, I see you, I see you. I see your button nose, I see your tiny toes. Peekaboo, I see you. All right, and with that, we are ready for our first bird book. This one is called Bird Songs, and we're going to get to hear all sorts of different sounds that birds make. This story is by Betsy Franco. Here we go. Lots of different kinds of birds. The sky is quiet. The yard is quiet. The creek is quietly gurgling. The rising sun turns the sky from black to gray to pink to blue. In the front yard, a red-capped woodpecker is working on a hole-pocked pine tree. He raps a tap dance with his beak, pecking 10 times as he looks for breakfast bugs. Tat, 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 tat. A mourning dove lands on the telephone wire and folds its gray wings. More doves find places in line. Then they dive down to share the sunflower seeds under the bird feeder, cooing to one another 9 times. Hoo, 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 hoo. A flutter, a flurry, a flapping of chipping sparrows. The sparrows crowd around the bird feeder and poke one another out of the way, filling the air with 8 sharp notes. Each one wants to be first in line. Chip, 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 chip. The sun is high in the sky now. The bottoms of the clouds are fringed with gray. A white gull from the bay circles over the front yard and the creek. Its mouth open wide, the gull warns and nags 7 times that rain is coming. Ya, 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 ya. A white chickadee chimes in 6 times from a branch of the apple tree. More and more chickadees join her until the tree looks like a candelabra. They fly off in mid-song when the tabby cat starts climbing. Dee dee dee, dee dee dee. A short rain shower. Dressed in shiny green suits, mallards in the creek discuss the weather. The gull was right, they say, quacking 5 times in agreement. Quack, 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 quack. A crow listens in, tottering along the creek fence. When he takes off, he looks too large to fly, but his broad black wings carry him up as he squawks 4 times. Caw, 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 caw. The sun is low now. Back on the maple tree next to the house, the robin, heavy with eggs, settles herself into her nest of bark and grass. She softly sings 3 notes. Tut, tut, tut. Late for dinner, a thrasher struts around the garden. He digs at the ground under the bushes with his curved bill. He congratulates himself 2 times when he finds a patch of ants and grubs. Chook, chook. A hummingbird sucks one last treat from the trumpet-shaped honeysuckle in the garden. Her wings look like a helicopter propeller. She makes 1 tiny sound in her high voice. Zip! As the sun sets, it's quiet in the sky. It's quiet in the garden. It's quiet in the gurgling creek where the moon is reflected in the ripples. until the mockingbird begins to sing from the pine tree. She copies all of the songs and calls she's heard that day. Tat tat chip, ya, quack, caw caw, woo woo, chup, tat 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 tat, quack, zip. The end. And that was our first story with our bird friends. Let's see. We talked about some bird feeders in this book, and I've got a little rhyme for you that involves just that. I'd like to see a bird feeder like this. Can you make a bird feeder with your hand? And then we have some seeds and crumbs that we're going to sprinkle all over our bird feeder. And then some of our bird friends are going to come. We've got one cardinal, one chickadee, one junco, and one jay. And all 4 of them are going to eat. Yay! All right. Now that we know the motions, I'll say our rhyme once first, and then we can say it all together. Are you ready? On the count of 3, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Here is the bird feeder. Here are seeds and crumbs. Sprinkle them on and see what comes. 1 cardinal, 1 chickadee, 1 junco, 1 jay. 4 of my bird friends are eating today. All right, can you try that along with me? On the count of 3, we'll try. 1, 2, 3. Here's the bird feeder. Here are seeds and crumbs. Sprinkle them on and see what comes. 1 cardinal, 1 chickadee, 1 junco, 1 jay. 4 of my bird friends are eating today. Thank you so much for trying that rhyme with me. Now we're ready for our next story, which is called Hooray for Birds. And you can do a lot of these actions along with the story as well. This story is by Lucy Cousins. Here we go. Hooray for Birds by Lucy Cousins. Can you imagine, just for one day, you're a busy bird? Yes, a bird! Hooray! The sun is up, the sky is blue. Wake up and shout, cock-a-doodle-doo! Can you try that? Cock-a-doodle-doo! Flap your wings and you can fly. Higher and higher, up, up in the sky. Can you flap your wings like a bird? Very nice. Hop, hop, hop. Peck, peck, peck. Now swim along and stretch up your neck. Stretch your neck really long like this goose here. Well done. Say, hello, darling. Then swoop like a starling. Do your very best parrot voice. Hello, darling. Swoop up and down. Swoop round and round. Scratch the ground with your feet. Can you scratch the ground? Maybe you're looking for some bugs down there. Catch a fly with your beak. Stand very tall on just one leg. Can you do that? Do you see how this flamingo is only using one leg to stand in the water? It's tricky. Say, cluck, cluck, and lay an egg. Oh my goodness, look at that chicken. Cluck, 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 cluck. Catch a wiggly snake and stretch out your wings. Open your beak and sing. Tra-la-la, tweet, tweet, tweet. Hum, hum. Cheep, cheep, cheep. What kind of bird sounds can you make? Give some a try. Waddle like a penguin in the snow. Run like an ostrich. Go, go, go. Show off your tail and puff out your chest. Then cuddle up close with Mama in your nest. Wow, we were some busy birds. What a busy bird you've been. The funniest one I've ever seen. You began the day with cock-a-doodle-doo. Now say good night. Tweet, tweet, whoo, whoo. The end. So So many birds. All right, let's try one more little bird rhyme before we move on to our goodbye song. So let's see, can I see the sun in the morning? And some little birds flying, and then a little birdie nest here, and some sleepy birds. And then the sun comes up, and the dew dries up, and then the birds are going to say, good morning, good morning. All right, those are all the motions we need for our rhyme. I'll say it once first, and then we'll say it all together. On the count of 3, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3. Way up in the sky, the little birds fly, while down in the nest, the baby birds rest. Shh, they're sleeping. The bright sun comes up, the dew falls away. Good morning, the little birds say. Good morning. Can you try that once with me all together? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Way up in the sky, the little birds fly, while down in the nest, the baby birds rest. Shh, they're sleeping. The bright sun comes up, the dew falls away. Good morning, the little birds say. Thank you very much for trying that rhyme with me. We're just about ready for our goodbye song. Why don't we sing that, and then we'll take a quick break before we come back with our bird craft. Are you ready? On the count of 3, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a wave and wink your eye. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, friends. Will you sing nice and loudly with me? Here we go on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Give a wave and wink your eye. Yes, it's time to say goodbye to all our friends. Goodbye, friends. Hope you'll join me back here in just one moment for our craft. See you soon. All right, welcome back. Today for our craft, we're going to be making handprint birds. And all you'll need for that is some paper, any color will do, glue, crayons or markers, and some scissors. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper and you're going to trace your hand on one side with your fingers slightly spread. And then you're going to trace your other hand and just sort of overlap the thumbs like this. So my thumbs are going to meet in the middle. All right? Now when I do that, I'm going to end up with a shape that looks something like this. And once I have this shape that looks sort of like this, you see 4 fingers on one side, 4 fingers on the other, and then the thumb is overlapping here. This is going to become our bird's head. And you can take your crayon or marker and just sort of connect the bottom, all right? So this is going to be where our bird's feet go. And when you cut that out, you're going to end up with something that looks a little bit like this. And now you can start decorating your bird. If you have more than one color paper, you can use that other color to make some features for your bird, like a beak and some feet. Otherwise, you can just draw them on with your crayons and markers. But what I'm going to do real quick here is just cut out a little tiny square from my orange paper. And I'm going to use that to make a beak for my bird. I can just fold that in half so it looks kind of triangle-y. Fold, fold, fold. So now I've got a little triangle like this that I can glue onto my bird's little face here. And I'm going to take my crayons and I'm going to add some eyes. Thinking maybe some purple eyes here will look nice on my yellow paper. And again, you can take some paper if you have it and cut out some other little details. I'm going to make some really fast feet for my bird here. I'm just going to do that by cutting out 2 kind of triangle-y shapes with long stems to them for my bird's legs. And when I do that, I end up with something that looks a little bit like, almost like a broom. Do you see? And I can cut some little triangles out of that. And that will make my bird's toes. All right, we got 1 foot. We've got another foot. Oh, make sure that those toes are nice and clear here. Pull that down. Great, so now I've got 2 little bird feet, and I'm just going to glue them right to the bottom of my bird here, where a bird's feet ought to be. 1 and 2. And ta-da! There we have it. Here's my little handprint bird. I could go in and add some more feathers to the wings or any other kind of decoration I might like. But overall, here we go. Here's our little bird. He's ready to fly away. Thank you so much for joining me. Hope to see you back here real soon. Bye!